So, Adam, are you a fan of Sex and the City?
Oh, yeah.
A big fan.
Love that show.
I could tell. So everybody wants to know what happened to Samantha,
Dying.
Kim Cattrall.
That's right.
And she has not said.
Torn apart by dogs.
Loved her since Mannequin.
Yes. Oh, one of my favorite shows. I haven't seen that in years. That was a good one. So Kim Cattrall finally, after much ado, has revealed the real reason she wasn't on Just Like That. And I read the entire article. So she confirmed she will never play Samantha Jones again after Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon reprised their roles in Sex and the City and Just Like That.
Did she marry someone rich? Usually when
She
people take a
married-
stand, they're independently wealthy.
She married a guy who owned a very high-end stereo company in New York City because I actually interviewed him to do some work for me, and she divorced him. He was a real bore. And then I think she might have gotten married again, but she's single now.
Really?
Yes, they even mentioned in the article that for a short time she was without health insurance. So I'm gathering the work has dried up.
So she did Sex and City, and then the reboot she's not a part
She
of. So
did.
she was in all the movies.
No,
Wait,
no,
was she in the last movie?
Not. She was not. She was not. She was once a central figure in the HBO series Sex and the City. In 2017, the actress decided it was high time she move on from her role as Samantha, even as a third movie was being written. It is a great wisdom to know when enough is enough, she told Variety in a new interview. I also didn't want to compromise what the show was to me. The way forward seemed clear, and for a time it seemed that Sex and the City was well and truly over, with the series creator Darren Star saying it's impossible to imagine the show without her. But in spite of all that, I think it's a grudge. I think she's holding on
She's
to...
pissed. She hates
pissed.
Sarah.
She hates Sarah. She hates them all. She even talks about in the article how she... is a work relationship. She doesn't have a friend relationship with any of them. And I think that they haven't asked her back either. So I think it's a mutual goodbye.
So she was in both movies, but backed out when they were developing the third, which I guess hasn't come out yet. I went to opening night of the second one.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
I never liked any of them, I'll be honest.
What?
I wasn't a fan of the movies. I loved the original Sex and the City, the series. I loved it.
All
And
right,
when it
let's
was over,
wrap
it
the
was
news
over.
and kind of agree to disagree.
Okay, there you go. Elon Musk says fees, for, as everyone knows, is thinking and trying to buy Twitter for something like $40 billion. And he says fees for some users may be coming to Twitter. Right now, Twitter is free for everyone.
How do fees work on Twitter?
There aren't any right now.
Right.
So that never made sense to me either.
How
Well,
would they work?
I think he's saying that he would charge companies, not people. He's saying if you're
Oh.
a
Yeah, if you're
user-
Microsoft and you want to,
Right.
reach a certain number of people beyond your followers.
Exactly. And I
Okay.
could see that, and it's kind of fair, if a company's making money off of Twitter for them to make money as well. I don't have a problem with that. Do you?
No, look, I mean, if you're Microsoft or whomever, Nike, whatever, then you get a choice. Is it worth it to you to pay X amount? I mean, you don't get to advertise on ESPN for free or anywhere for free.
Or Facebook. I personally run ads on Facebook and Instagram, and I feel raped and pillaged every month. It's really bad, and there's absolutely no transparency with these companies. And, you can barely find out how much you're paying for what you're getting, and they just keep upping the prices. I think last month it went up 23% for no reason. It's supply and demand. It's all these, algorithms. So, Twitter hasn't been doing that. So I could see them starting to charge.
they talk about he's buying it. It's a done deal, I guess.
It's not a done deal.
It's not done.
Stock went down 10% yesterday. People are not sure it's going to go through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was, or at least agreed upon. But I don't know when the start date would be. I don't know. I've never heard anyone go, when do they turn the keys over
Yeah, I think the
to
first
Elon?
I don't know.
domino or two fell, but like Jill said, it says a process that may or may not happen now.
Yeah, it may not close. The other thing is that I read in the fine print is that he's also going to have to pay off a lot of executives and employees based on stock options that they had with the company.
Oh,
if he
sure.
buys the company, he's got to kind of pay off all those people too. But he is going to finance it. He is planning to borrow about 25% of the price. And I don't know if he's going to sell bonds or
Fuck me
whatever
money.
he's going to do.
Wow.
He's got a lot of money.
All
But,
right.
if I had that much money, I don't think I'd want to buy Twitter. I'm just saying.
Probably
Wouldn't be on
better
my list.
investments.
Yeah, I think so. But
What would
know
you buy if you had that kind of money?
Oh,
Would you get a yacht?
a big boat. Absolutely.
Get one of those
Really?
oligarchs' yachts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
'Cause they're
But
probably
they
dealing.
say if it flies, floats, or Fox. You shouldn't buy it. You should rent it. So boats, you shouldn't.
Oh.
You never heard that one?
No, we're not on that demo.
I've heard
never heard that?
gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides
Flies
for free.
Club, was it? FFF. Anyway, so a boat's probably not the best investment. I used to own a boat, and if I had put my money into real estate instead of that boat, I would have done much better.
How big was the boat?
75 feet.
Well, that's
It was a
big.
big boat. Yeah, it was a big boat. But if I had bought real estate, it would have been a better
Well,
investment.
but
I had a good time.
how do you measure all the good times
You
you had
can't.
on that boat?
You can't. I did, but I want to get another boat again eventually.
How big?
Like 50, so I can run it. I'm a boat captain. I can.
Oh,
run a
are
boat.
you?
Yeah,
You certified?
certified, licensed.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's
So
impressive.
I used to. I ran a 50-foot Sundancer for us until it was. I just couldn't do it anymore. So we got a bigger boat and I got a captain. But I used to take the boat to Newport and all over the place. Yeah.
What would? How far out would you go?
Well, the furthest I drove the boat to was Newport by myself without a captain. I had captains go with me to Nantucket, and I would put them in a hotel because I was too scared to take that kind of trip on the open ocean. But to Newport, which is across the Sound from the Hamptons, 2.5 hours, did it by myself in the rain. It started to rain. It was such a storm, but I did. I docked it. Well, when it's funny when you have a bigger boat. If you have a bow thruster, which is kind of a cheap thing, it's a little engine at the front or the back or both of the boat, and you just have a joystick, and it kind of pushes the boat in. So it's like if you're parallel parking a boat like you would a car, you put your ass in first, and then the bow thruster pushes the front in, and you look like a hero.
Yeah.
When it's a small boat with one engine and no bow thruster, and you're only going forward and back, it's much harder to dock that.
Yeah.
Because of the wind and the water going
Did you
in
have a
different
bow
directions.
thruster?
I did when I got above 40 feet, but I started at a smaller boat and I didn't. So you learn. It's like driving a stick shift car. You
Right.
learn how to drive a car. It's better to learn.
That's
that
impressive.
first. Thank you.
Did you wear the hat?
Well, it said The View. The name of the boat was The View.
Oh, you had
So,
a few hat.
I had The View.
You like the
did.
TV show?
No, it's changed. I did in the beginning when Barbara Walters was on. I did. And
yeah.
I thought that the women were much more opinionated. I like Joy Behar because she still says what's on her mind. And I just hate that they always get in trouble for saying things. Like you said before, it's not fun anymore. They're all politically correct.
Yeah. They need somebody in there with a different opinion to kind of mix it up.
And look what happened to Sharon Osbourne. Whether you agree with her, not agree with her, I don't even remember what it was about. They canceled her off the talk because she said something to one of the other women that was inappropriate. I
It
mean,
wasn't even inappropriate.
No, I'm saying allegedly. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
she
they
just said
canceled
Piers
her.
Morgan is not a bad guy. That was enough.
The nerve. Could
The
you
nerve.
imagine? She's canceled.
The
That's
nerve
it.
of standing
The
up
nerve.
for a friend and a countryman.
Absolutely a friend, and he's defended her anyway. So I don't even. It's very frustrating to me. That's why I really gravitate to podcasts because I like to hear what people really think. And I like to listen to ones I don't always agree with.
All right. So what the hell we're talking about?
Let's talk
Kim
about
Cattrall?
something else. Yeah, Kim. Let's move on.
All
This
right.
one's a good one. Escaped Alabama inmate and corrections officer had a 2-year relationship. Did you hear about this one?
I saw this story. Did you see the story, Brian?
No, with who?
Okay.
what?
Female.
This just happened a week ago. The Alabama
Oh, yeah,
corrections
these guys.
officer accused
Aaron
of
Rodgers' retarded brother.
Right.
accused of helping an
And
inmate.
Jodie Foster's retarded sister. They got together.
Yeah, that is quite a couple, I got to tell you. So this woman helped an inmate escape jail. They had a 2-year relationship that no one knew about, which included visits when he was in state prison. Officials have revealed. The search for Vicky White, 56, and inmate Casey White, 38, in case anyone's seen them, definitely call the police. A capital murder suspect entered its 7th day today. The escape unfolded April 29th, the same day Vicky White was set to retire at the Lauderdale County Detention
terrible
Center in
timing.
Florence. The pair went missing after Vicky said she was taking the inmate Casey White to the courthouse and was planning to seek medical attention because she wasn't feeling well.
They're both coincidentally named White.
Why would the inmate be going with her because she doesn't feel well? I don't understand. But the two never arrived at the courthouse, surprise, surprise. And Vicky White didn't make it to the medical facility, also a big surprise. Vicky White is now the subject of an active arrest warrant for allegedly permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. The sheriff said records show Vicky White had made major financial moves in the weeks leading up to the escape, including she sold her home days before the disappearance for a price well below market value. Now, that's how you buy real estate in
That's
California.
right. You cannot also, I think he's like 6'8". He's like insanely tall.
How's he going to hide?
That's my point. It's tough to take it on the lam when you're 6'8". You're so much easier to find. You know, we do this thing where it's like, he's a Hispanic male between the ages of, but there's a lot of them around.
He doesn't fit into the crowd.
There's not, she's like short, he's super tall, and you're not going to miss those two. Plus, she looks like either Jodie Foster when she used to play child roles, like Jodie Foster.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, young Jodie Foster, but also
do Freaky Friday next to her.
Singer, songwriter extraordinaire Paul Williams. I think it was Paul.
Wow.
Oh,
the guitar
you're right.
player from the 70s.
A female Paul Williams.
He sung
Could be his
I think
sister.
Paul Williams is a female Paul Williams.
He wrote Evergreen. Well, he looked like Jodie Foster
Evergreen?
too, but there's some.
I didn't know that. He wrote that.
I think it's Paul Williams. I think you'll find. He's 6'9".
John Williams?
Oh, no,
I used to get him
With the straight
confused.
hair.
I used to
With the
get
straight
confused
hair.
with a composer. Is it Paul?
That's who I'm thinking of, Paul.
It's Williams. Oh, screw
With
it.
the
Whoever
straight hair.
wrote Evergreen.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
for
about.
Barbara Streisand. Who was
Very
that?
sensitive-looking fellow.
Yes, they had the same.
They do.
Barbara.
They look. There he is.
There he is.
You
There
are
he is.
good. That is
Yeah.
definitely a match.
That's my gift. Knowing
Celebrity
people that
look-alike.
look like Paul Williams.
Yeah, celebrity lookalikes.
Who look like
It's all
Jodie
good.
Foster. And yeah, he's 6'9", this guy. So,
So if
he
you happen
will
to
be
run into
seen.
them coming out of another motel, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably in Motel 6 somewhere down the road.
It was like she was armed. I remember hearing the news story, and now they are armed, essentially, is what the news story is, because if they're hooking up,
They are armed and armed.
they are armed. He has her gun at this point.
His face is too high and hers is too low.
Yeah, it's a good point. Hopefully
how
their
that
kid will
really-
be right in the middle.
That's going to be a movie of the movie of the week in 2 years on
that's,
Lifetime.
we'll cast this. That's Adam
Mm-hmm.
Driver who plays the
Oh
woman.
yeah,
Aaron Driver. Yeah. Who
This
plays
is
the
definitely
woman?
going to be on Lifetime, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
Jodie Foster, she could definitely play.
Don't do that.
I don't know if she's doing movies of the week these days.
I don't think she's doing anything these days. Have you seen her?
No, but no one ever sees her, right?
No, so maybe she needs work.
I think she's all right.
Could be a good gig.
Okay. Well, I'll reach out to her people.
I think you should call them.
Do you know her?
No,
Do you know her
don't.
people?
no.
I'll
I
reach
don't.
out.
We can go on IMDb and look it up for sure. All right, JonBenet. Remember JonBenet? I'm sure
Yes.
everybody remembers
Ramsey?
JonBenet
Yeah.
Ramsey. The parents were cleared through DNA many, many years ago. Well, the father is asking is bashing the Colorado cops for refusing to use modern technology and asked the governor of Colorado to have DNA testing in the case. It's horrifying to think that the cops locally don't want to clear this case anyway. Like, what are they hiding? Why wouldn't they do everything they possibly could to find out who actually killed her?
Well, first things first, she'd be in her early 30s today.
Was that true?
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
this is
it's
1996.
You know what always creeped me out
December
the most?
26th.
Creeped me out the most about the child pageant girls, the ones they dressed up like basically adults, but
Yes.
everything was like adult, right? It was the makeup, it was the hair,
Yes.
it was everything. The teeth, tiny
I know.
baby teeth.
No, they called them flippers.
What?
So they would put these. Okay, so most children who are 6 years old have lost half their teeth because they're getting their adult teeth in. So in order for them to have a smile that's natural, they would put something called a flipper in their mouth,
Baby dentures, basically.
baby dentures, and that's why they have that.
Got
big-
more
Can
macabre.
you pull up a picture? You'll
Oh,
see.
no, don't
If you
do
pull
it.
up any pictures of these children, they all have it's called a flipper. Look how much information I'm sharing
The
today
whole
with you guys.
activity is bizarre, strange, and foreign to me, thankfully. But first they blame like the brother, then they blame the parents.
Well, so would you. I mean, in fairness, they found her in their house on
Mm-hmm.
the day after Christmas in the basement in their house. I mean, you always look to the people closest to the victim. Always.
Was the brother like a step or something?
I don't know.
I don't know if I would. I have a boy and a girl.
No, I
I
thought
don't
it
think
was-
I'd blame
thought it
my
was the-
son.
I thought it was the parents. I thought
But
it was
what-
one of the parents.
Who
Else would get in the house?
I don't know.
It's
You
like
know,
a
what, this,
spot.
this
You
whole
start in
thing
the
could
middle
have
and you
been
work your way out.
this whole thing could have been solved if they had a Ring doorbell back then. That's
Indeed.
all we needed was a $26
How
item
about
to
this?
stick
They
to our
have
front.
DNA and they can solve the case. Why aren't they? What are they hiding? What is the Colorado police chief hiding?
I
He won't do it.
suspect they would give you some answer that was semi-satisfying, other than we just have the DNA and we choose not to pursue it. But I don't know what.
No,
I
they
really
don't want
know
to
what's
lose
going on.
control of it. They have it. They don't want to give it to an outside agency. They'd rather control it themselves.
Do you have a choice when there's a super high profile murder
And
not
that's
to
what
get the FBI and everyone involved?
That's why he's going to the governor.
Well, I hope he gets
I
his
hope he gets
delayed
closure.
gratification and satisfaction.
Because, the
but-
mother died of cancer, right? Didn't she die?
Yeah.
I think so. The mother died
Yeah,
of
the
cancer.
mother died.
She never saw,
So they cleared everyone in the house.
Yeah.
I guess.
With DNA, which is the irony. So they have better DNA testing now. So I guess they were able to clear them because they had their DNA to compare, but they didn't have the DNA of the criminal to match because maybe he hadn't committed a crime before. But now they have more advanced technology.
So what do you think? You think it's a conspiracy?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think something has to do with the police department. There's something they're hiding. Absolutely.
And
whole
do
thing
we
never
think
made
a
sense.
stranger just broke into the house and killed her in the basement?
Well, she was, I mean, okay, I hesitate to say public figure, but she was known in the community, right? Like some
Absolutely.
creepo could have seen her, at a pageant or something.
But they had to get in her house, and then they, instead of kidnapping her, which is what you would think they would do, whatever happened in the house while they were all sleeping. The whole thing is very. You want to know the answer, and if you can find the answer, why wouldn't you?
I would. All right, let's do one more.
We're pleading. Well, the biggest one of all, the biggest news of the day is the Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights and a draft got leaked. Now, leaked by who? I think that's an investigation. I'd like to know who leaked the story of Judge Ito. Is that how he says his name? Judge Ito?
Alito.
Alito? Sorry.
Ito's the guy with
Ito?
the
OJ.
hourglasses and OJ.
Apologies,
It's all right.
Your Honor. But in any case, it was his brief that was leaked. It was like 78 pages or something like that. And everybody's analyzing it. They're saying that it's not final and there could be changes to it. But I think it's something we all expected was coming. I live in Florida, and I'm horrified by what our governor recently passed, which was a 15-week abortion ban. But what the most egregious part of that was that there's no
abortions
exception
after 15 weeks?
weeks. But even if I could live with the 15 weeks, there's no exception for rape and incest.
I don't
for
get
me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, how could you not rape and incest have an exception up to the 19th hour?
Would you put so there's two heads on this. One is what this is basically saying is it would be left to the states, and then every state would just vote on it, and they would decide whether
it's
they
blue
wanted it or
red,
not.
Right.
And then
but also the penalties are terrible.
then it would
what they
create
do.
basically what we're already doing is it would create bluer states and redder states, and people would just go move to whatever states they agreed with, and we're already kind of going there already, where people are moving to the states they agree with.
Well, they're gerrymandering too. They're trying to change the lines. I don't know
But
if you know about
COVID
that.
kind of sped up that. People in California got tired of lockdown, so they went to Texas or whatever. But would you be in favor of a nationwide number, let's just say 15 weeks or 18 weeks, or you decide on the number of weeks? Because people go, I don't think most Americans don't want no abortions under any circumstances. And most Americans don't want abortions in the third trimester. Everyone, basically that's most of America. So if you throw out the low, who thinks the morning after pill's an abortion,
Which is
they don't
horrific if you take that away.
They don't get a vote. And then you have the ones that are the other way, which is you can get abortion whenever, however late you want. We'll
and
throw
paid
that
for by the government.
We'll
and all
throw
that
them
stuff.
out.
Right.
So now we have everyone in the middle, which is the majority. And now, in my head, it's up to the middle to decide on what the Mason-Dixon line is for abortion time.
That's a great idea. I would be in favor of a hybrid, which is, a number, whatever the number is a nationwide number, 18 weeks, so for example.
But there should be exceptions always for rape and incest.
then after that, that's up to the states. If you want to allow it later, if you want to have another number in your state, that's on you, and that's on your constituents.
But not lower than the 8.
But
No, there's a federal
But you know what? They're
minimum, whatever it is.
criminalizing it. Like there was some states that were going to make it not a crime, but more of like a financial.
What do you think? What
penalty?
would your number be?
Oh, wait. Well, first of all, I'm completely pro-choice. I had an abortion when I was 16 years old.
Really?
Yep. And I'm totally, open to share that, especially in times like this. And my life would be complete. It was 6 weeks, but my life would have been completely different.
You'd have a 15-year-old today.
I'd have a 40-year-old today.
I was trying to be complimentary,
I know.
but I get it now.
And I think about that sometimes, but I know I did the right thing. But either way, whether I did the right thing or the wrong thing, it was my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that it's a choice for women to make for themselves. I love
So
all
you
these
would put no cap on the number.
I could see putting a cap on the number.
What do you think that would be?
But there were also like the 13 and 14-year-old girls who get raped and the situations happen and they don't even know they're pregnant.
But
in
we're
their TV
looking for a
shows.
number.
I don't know. I don't want to even put a
You
number.
got to
on
give
it.
a number. See, we're not going to be able to figure this out unless people like you give a number.
I don't think the number's the issue.
I think
don't
it
like-
is because that's everyone in the middle would agree. If we could agree on a number, I think we could get on with it. But we have to kind of agree on a number.
And birth control. They want to take away birth control. Could you imagine?
I want the number.
You're not
Give me
getting
a
a
number.
number.
You're not going to. But
What's your
see
number?
now,
Let me ask you, what's your number?
I would
Are you
say
pro-choice or no? I don't know what you
I'm
are.
I'm in the middle. I'm sort of normal,
Okay.
which is like
Common sense.
I don't want people getting an abortion 8 months in, but I am for all the birth control, all the morning after, and all that kind of stuff. And I would say you pick a number. Let's say, 18
I think it's
weeks
more of
or
I think
some
it's more,
number
honestly, I
in
think
there
it's more
somewhere.
of a weight issue more than a number.
Weight?
A developmental issue. Yeah, like I think
Well,
if you got a
I
4-pound
would
baby
also-
that could live outside your body, then that could be a number.
I think you could consult with, physicians and pediatricians and gynecologists and stuff and sort of go like, where is this developmentally? And, we have the science to kind of figure out when people are viable or have fingernails or
absolutely know everything.
hear noises from the outside or whatever it is. And we get to that number and we go, look, the people on the right are going to hate it and the people on the far left are going to hate it. Here's our number, 20 weeks, 18 weeks, whatever that number is. And we go, all right, that's the number.
Also, sorry if I'm interrupting. Drew would know more maybe than any of us would, but as I understand it, the majority, maybe the vast majority of late-term abortions, but I think everyone is philosophically against, are like medically necessary, right? This is a baby that's not viable or is going to harm the mother or cannot survive, and thus they have to do like a late-term abortion.
Or could
which,
turn out to be a publicist. Something like that.
There's
I'm
always one.
bolstering your point.
You really are. The point is, it would be an unfortunate situation to, have those off the
Yes,
table.
you carve out, rape and incest and, severe deformities or whatever
right, but they
like
don't
that.
Want to do that. They don't want to do that.
Well, that's
They
what
also
we're
don't-
doing.
And they don't want to pay, obviously they don't want to pay for any of this stuff. But who's going to take care of these children who are unwanted? And I'm not talking about the middle class. I'm talking about people who are already in financial straits and things like that, who get pregnant,
Well, where
didn't
you at-
have the education to maybe
Where
learn
you
about
at
birth
with
control.
adoption?
Of course, I love the idea of
Because I think a
adoption.
lot of people, they would be adopted. If you put them up for adoption, there'd be a lot of them adopted.
Not all.
Well, there's a long waiting list to get. to
There are
get
a lot
kids.
of there's a lot of drug addicts and people who abuse certain substances who get pregnant, and if you take away the option of termination and they're going to give birth to a child that's addicted to something, you think that's going to be so easy to have someone adopt?
Yeah, but
With
you
all
keep
those
going for these weird extremes like rape, incest,
But you
drug addicts,
but
and
you
stuff.
have to
I'm looking
include
for a
them
middle
because
here.
I
They're
want a
included,
middle.
but we still
They're
need a number. We need a number that you
love you.
can't go past. And then I'm with Brian. If you want to, New York would vote and they would raise that number.
30 weeks or whatever it is.
So I need a number.
Not getting a number.
Well, so then what's your argument?
My argument is that it's my body and nobody should tell me
So
what to do with it.
then you can say 9 months.
Then 9 months.
Okay.
Then 9 months, because I believe that it's my body, and until it's not in my body anymore, nobody has the right. And I find ironic about, like Republicans, and I'm in the middle. I'm a very common sense person.
Right.
They don't want less government, less taxes, less charges, less everything. But we want to tell you what to do with your body.
Right. Well, I think their argument is at a certain point it becomes viable, and now you're talking about another thing.
But it's still viable to me. So that means I'm responsible to take care of it for the rest of my life.
Right, but you're responsible to take care of your kids after they're born, but you're not allowed to
Yeah,
kill
but I didn't
them.
want one. That's the point. I got pregnant, but I didn't want to.
Right,
It was
but
an accident.
I think at a certain
It was
point,
an accident. It was ignorance. It was lack of education.
Right, but
it was all those
at a
things.
certain point, it becomes a separate person, or it becomes viable.
It's
That's
true.
what at a
So
certain point,
So if you want a time, I'd say your third trimester, it becomes viable.
the beginning can't be at the end.
Yeah, it has to be
Right.
the beginning.
Okay.
Third trimester.
All right.
Third trimester.
So
but
now
there's got to
we-
be still exceptions, but third trimester. For
All right.
Sure.
So that's what we do. We sort of have this.
That's what a normal person, compromises. But then what about birth control? You're not going to allow birth control or a morning after pill or any of those things for people who, have unprotected sex because they drank too much or they had a wild night and they're scared. They don't know if they're pregnant. They're scared. So they deliberately take a next morning pill to make sure that they don't have a baby.
Yeah.
And that's also going to be knocked out.
No, I think you'll be able to get that.
No, not in Texas. Not today.
There's no morning after pill in Texas.
Nothing.
There's
Nope.
nothing.
Should have talked to Jim, the wildlife guy.
Yeah. There's no birth control in Texas.
Basically, not supported by the government. No,
What? But can you get the morning after pill or
I
get
don't
your
want to
own
say.
birth
I don't
control?
want to say 100%, but I'm pretty sure you cannot. And not only that, if you aid someone in the process, criminally negligent homicide. I mean, like they can arrest you for helping somebody else get a morning after pill. If I give you a morning after pill in Texas, I'm pretty sure, and someone will, I'm sure, call in and tell me that it's against the law and criminal.
Well, Chris, now you got to see if you
So,
can get the morning
Chris,
after pill.
Careful what you
in
Google,
Texas.
buddy.
Yeah,
Get that Google working.
we were big proponents of the morning after pill on Loveline for many, many years.
I hope you still are. I
Yeah.
mean, there are so many young girls, who just don't know, and the poorer, the less educated are the ones who are going to be hurt the most. Listen, rich people, they're going to get whatever they want. They'll go to Canada.
That's a decent point. If
It's
you
the
don't,
poor.
Yeah, if your lifestyle doesn't line up with your state's laws, you can move if you have the means. But
Of
if you're
course,
not,
you go to Canada, you go here,
kinda
you're
shut out of luck.
educated. You made a mistake. But what about the people who don't have the money, who
Yeah.
live in a terrible situation and get pregnant and maybe by an uncle?
There's that incest thing.
But nobody cares about that. It's like no exceptions, and I don't agree with that.
All right, but you have it at the end of the second
I do.
trimester. All right.
Beginning of the third trimester.
The beginning of the third, but not the end of the second.
Because it's, there's only, so many weeks. So we have to be literally, you said you wanted a week. So we're going to say the third
So
trimester.
what number is that? What is
So
that?
let's divide it in 3.
yeah, 40 weeks is more
Divided
or
by
less. So
3.
13, more or
Okay.
less.
So you got it 26
weeks.
weeks. Brian, what do you have it at?
Maybe a little lower, but I like my idea of if the people of the state, let's say it's California or Texas or wherever, want it to be a different number, vote on it, put it in. The
What's your base?
right down the middle at 20.
20.
Yeah.
And where are you?
I'd probably go lower at, let's see, 10, 15. I'd say 4 months. What does that put you at?
16 weeks.
16, 17 weeks or whatever it is. 16. All right. So people a lot of people don't know they're pregnant. Mm-hmm. That's on you. You got to get your shit together. If you're pregnant for 4 months and you don't know it,
If you've missed 3+ periods,
you got to
and
get,
sex.
that's on you.
Okay.
Emergency contraceptive pills are available over the counter to anyone, regardless of age in Texas, so says Chris.
Okay,
So,
I'm
but not yet.
corrected.
All right, well, that's why he's got a computer.
Thank God.
Let's bring it home.
Don't worry, Gina. Your job is safe. That was the news with a hot cup of Jill Zarin.
All right, let me just hit X chair here. Many of us spend more time every day in our office chair than our cars or beds, and that's why it is so important to invest in a chair with the right level of support and comfort to get the most productivity out of your day. X chair. Well, it's made my time. First off, let me tell you that I bought an X chair years ago. I just bought one to have in my home office because they're that good. Now
Boy, I need one.
they're sponsors. You're sitting on one now. Isn't it
This
fantastic?
is a really comfortable chair.
They have patented dynamic variable lumbar, or DVL, offers the ultimate customized support. X chair can even massage or heat up or cool it down. And now, thanks to X chair's new FS360 armrest, you can even adjust any armrest. I do mine all the time. It's the perfect position. I'm sitting on one now. I couldn't be happier. It's X chair, right, Dawson?
to xchairadam.com now. That's the letter X, chair, ADAM.com. Or call 1-844-4XChair for $100 off your order. X-Chair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort, and you can finance your purchase for as little as $30 a month. xchairadam.com.
All right. Jill, did you bring gifts?
I always bring gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So Allison, who's in the other room, and I came out with the candle line. I don't have the manifestation ones with me because I didn't have a one that wasn't burned in my apartment, if you can believe it. But I brought you my other ones. Guys like candles too. And
I love candles, by the
future
way.
reality star, your girlfriend,
Okay.
right?
Let
She loves
me
Housewives.
sniff. I love.
You love candles.
All right,
And
that's
what I'd
good.
like to do is to give your listeners a discount because we love to give a discount. A 15% off both websites, jillzarin.com and jillandallie.com. And I think we'll just go with type in Adam.
That is the
'Cause I was
discount
listening
code,
to
Adam.
the code everyone
Ooh,
gives.
nice.
It's Adam.
Give me that one back, Brian. I want
Whatever.
that one.
I like
got
the
it.
other one. This is a good deal.
It's a good
This
deal.
is like
It's a
melon.
good
This
deal.
smells like Hawaii.
All right, Catme, thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
Sure.
look,
And I got your friend, your girlfriend, a Scary Island T-shirt, which only she will get the joke
okay.
because
It's a pretty low batting average in terms of America, but I will deliver it.
deliver it.
Thank you very much for the swag. Always good to see you. Let's not take so much time in between shows.
Yeah, 10 years was a long time.
Next time,
Next time you're out playing tennis at someone else's house, just stop
Do you
by.
love that?
JillZarin.com is where you can go for all the information. Canelo Alvarez, of course, has the pay-per-view coming up on DAZN, and that's coming up this Saturday. Chris DiStefano special Special Weshy. It's streaming now on Netflix. And until next time, this is Adam for Chris and Canelo and Jill and Bald saying, Indianapolis. That's right. Coming up this weekend. Indianapolis tonight and tomorrow night. Doing live shows over there at Helium. Come say hi. And until next time, saying mahalo.
Then, of course, you have the mom jeans, which are just high-waisted jeans. But I literally bought these jeans. I loved them. I put them on. And then I got home and I actually read the label. And they are actually labeled distressed mom jeans.
Oh.
Which I think is redundant. I mean,
They're for
just say
distressed
mom.
They're for distressed moms?
Yeah, exactly. They're actually torn a little bit, which I think represents how I feel on the inside.